Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to all the people attending the webinar. My name is Miles. I'm facilitating I'm a software engineer, Ask Me Anything webinar today. And we'll just wait for a little bit longer just to see some registrants join up. So we'll just give it a few more minutes. In the meantime, if you've already joined, feel free to post in the chat where you're joining us from, anything about you. And remember that the chat function will be used for asking the questions a little bit later on when we get to that segment. So yeah, please let us know where you're joining us from. Just wait maybe one more minute. All right, let's get started. Okay, so what I'd like to do is first, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. And where I'm sitting, it's the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation. And I pay my respects to their elders, past and present and future. So my name is Miles. I'm a careers advisor, or I guess a future skills advisor at Academy XI. I've been here for just a little over 2 years. And my role is talking to students just in regards to understanding what their learning needs are, whether they've inquired through somewhere else or jumped on a website or been referred to a friend, by a friend, should I say. And I guess guide them through the courses. They might be having something that they've got in their mind, particular course, not too sure whether they're looking to change their career or just upskill. I can go through the course outcomes and the potential careers arising from those courses that we deliver, the entry requirements, and also the course fees and payment options. And if they're ready to get started, happy to go through the enrollment process as well. Our speakers today, we have Albert Palada. He is our Chief Mentor Instructor for software engineering, front-end web development, and data analytics courses. And joining us is Nils van der Werf, who is a software engineer at ReadyTech. Now, Nils is a little bit sick today, so please bear with us if he's a little bit coughy or spluttery. We do appreciate you being here, Nils. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time to join us on this exciting webinar as well. Okay, so I guess a little bit about what we have on offer at Academy XI. Now, in our tech and data space, we've got a few courses, and we kind of break them into two areas. One is called our Transform courses, and the other one is our Elevate courses. For Transform, we have cybersecurity analytics, front-end web development, software engineering, and data analytics. Just a point of note, our software engineering Transform course also covers front-end web development. So you're getting front end and back end skill sets there as well. For our Elevates, we've got cybersecurity for managers, front end web development, data analytics, and also data analytics with Python. The difference between those two data analytics Elevate courses, the standard one there is, I guess, dealing with Excel and Tableau, SQL, whereas the data analytics with Python takes a step up. You're actually utilizing Python for engineering solutions and data, obviously scraping and encoding with Python, which is great. So it's kind of the bridge between that Elevate and also the Transform course as well. So looking at our Transform courses, people who are doing our Transform courses are really looking to change or start their career. People are likely to do a course if they're somewhere where they want to get into something different. Let's say, for example, they're a real estate agent and really want to be a software engineer. They've got some friends who've been doing it, or they've been coming on the side, and they really want to change their career. Our Transform courses are online and self-paced. We give you 12 months to complete the course, but they can be completed sooner. This also comes with our career support program and our career growth guarantee as well. Once graduated, students move through the career support program. It's 180 days of career support with Will, who is our career support coach, and utilizing great tools like the AI career support toolkit. So utilizing AI technology now to help with things like cover letter writing, uh, uh, CV writing, also interview techniques. So it can do things like mock interviews, give you feedback on body language and eye contact too. The great thing about the Transformers, it also comes with an unlimited amount of one-on-one mentor sessions. So these are live half-hour sessions that you can book in. This would be with Albert to really get the support and the help that you need, whether it's a topic or concept that you need explained a bit better. It might be feedback on one of the projects they're doing, or just kind of talking about the industry and how you can get into it. A great opportunity to book in a mentor session there as well. For Elevate courses, I guess these are designed for those who are looking to upskill. So the course, I guess, skills they're coming away with, not necessarily define that the role that they're in. So typically most people who are looking to do a course might be already in a job that they like, and they're looking to get some extra skill sets around, let's just say, data analytics, or maybe some front-end web development. These courses are online and self-paced too. We give our students 6 months to complete, but can be completed sooner. And they get up to 12 one-on-one mentor sessions included in that as well. So it really depends on kind of where you're at and what you'd like to take away or the end goal for you. But we've certainly got a course, whether it's upskilling or changing your career. I'd like to pass on now to Albert. Albert, as I mentioned before, is our Chief Mentor Instructor who looks after our software engineering, front-end web development and data analytics course. Albert has been with us for some time and also helps out on our own web dev team as well. Albert, great to have you here, obviously. Can you tell us just a little bit about, I guess, your role at Academy XI and kind of what you've been doing and kind of what you like to help with the students and the courses that you look after?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for that, Miles. And yeah, so welcome once again, everyone. And we're really happy to have you here for today. And so, like what Miles said, so I'm the chief mentor for mainly managing and supporting students who's taking in the front end web development courses and software engineering and data analytics specifically. Right. And with regards to my experience, just a little bit about me. So I've had more than a decade of experience as a developer or as a software engineer. So I've been developing apps for mobile, web, and desktop. So I'm your go-to mentor if ever you need some assistance or some help, support, if you're enrolled into these specific courses, right? And yeah, so that's pretty much about me. And I've been with Academy XI for 3 years now. So yeah, hope to see you and chat with you soon. Back to you,
Great.
Miles.
Thanks, Albert. Um, Look, I'd like to move on to obviously some questions. And obviously that's the main part of this webinar was just to be able to ask any questions that you might have for either Albert or mainly obviously Nils here as well. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Nils. Nils is a software engineer at ReadyTech. And I guess kind of before we just start jumping to, I guess, any questions, just give us a quick background, Nils, of what you do or where you're at. And then I guess we can jump at some questions. I've got some questions I'd love to ask. I'm dying to find out a bit more. And any of the participants in the webinar today, feel free to start posting questions in the chat that we can ask the Nils, or even if you've got a question for Albert, that we can go through and really dig deep into kind of the area of your expertise, Nils, which is obviously being a software engineer.
Hello. So I was at Academy XI in 2021 um, during COVID. So that was an interesting experience. And now I work at ReadyTech. I've been there for about 3 years. Um, kind of like trying to move between like junior and mid-level as a kind of as a skill level. Academy XI really helped me like take me off the ground and it was like a structured core to move into the software engineering space. So ReadyTech is like a SaaS product that deals with like job seeker data, and there's a lot of job seeker data out there. So exposure to things like background jobs and using Ruby and Rails in its kind of most functional way. Yeah, and have enjoyed the journey and the transformation.
Right. Thanks for that, Nils. Look, I guess a question for me. I know you've got a background. You were previously come from graphic design. Is that correct, Nils?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
What
uh,
was the transition like from like being graphic designer into something like a software engineer?
the transition was quite natural, I guess. So in my graphic design career, I'd had some exposure to HTML and CSS through like web design, and then Academy XI really takes you from the ground up, from knowing nothing to being a full stack engineer. So um, I suppose I had a bit of a head start there over people who had come from like a physio background or something who knew nothing. Um, but we all, at one point, we all kind of merged our knowledge and was able to take it to graduation level.
Yeah, good. Awesome. I guess there's a question that would be more for Albert, though. I think it's something I may have asked before, but when do you see, and I guess feel free to answer this as well, when do you see most students get coding, like especially if they've come from, like Neil said, a physio background and they're kind of entering into the world of learning to code? Is there a certain time where you often see students actually kind of get it or things start to click, Albert, or even Nils? Yeah.
With regards to that, I think well, specifically for any type of coding specifically, right? So it helps to it doesn't matter really from which background you're coming from, so long as you're probably a person who's more into problem solving, because it's really coding is just mostly about problem solving. So yes, it does matter a bit if you're coming up from a background that physio is, which is totally unrelated to development, to coding and whatnot, right? But so long as you do have that problem solving skills, I think you should fare quite nicely when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. And when it comes to Neil, so it did help that he was a graphic designer because again, as he's mentioned that he's actually been introduced to HTML and CSS, which is a big part of web development. So that greatly helps into actually being able to speed up his learning process. So yeah.
Cool, thanks. Nils, I guess, question, do you code outside of your job? Like personally, are you into coding personally?
Um, yeah, a little bit. I think that's quite an important part of like once you get into your career, the difference between staying stagnant and really elevating your career more quickly is doing kind of side projects and being kind of interested enough that you seek out your own projects. Um, and so I reconnected with someone from my cohort. To try and work on a project. Um, so when I did my final project with academics, I chose something that was a bit too ambitious, and then I reached out to someone from my cohort. I was like, I wonder if we could do it again with like my current skill level. So we started to work on that again.
Right. And I guess obviously these are where these great partnerships often start, and the forming of friendships and partnerships and times when you're both studying that lead to great companies, big companies too, as well. Your role at ReadyTech, I guess you're obviously a software engineer, it's a startup, well, not a startup, it's a SaaS as well. Do you use any other skills other than software engineering skills in your current role? Like, are you ever to use bringing on your graphic design skills in that instance, or?
Um, I'm able to give suggestions in some places, not so much use them myself. We have a UI designer, so I give input there, and we have chats, but like kind of in an informal way. I think anyone in the company is willing to get the knowledge of anyone else.
Yeah.
It's nice and open like that.
What's, I guess, the most challenging part of your role?
Um, I guess, yeah, I suppose that the problem solving, um, and kind of being able to balance, kind of the expectations on velocity, um, and your KPIs, so like your performance indicators, and being able to solve the problem with a clear head.
Yeah. Okay. I guess this one is for you, Albert, and hopefully feel free to weigh in too, Nils. But I think, I guess, with the rise of AI, where do you see software engineering and AI? Are they, is it an amalgamation that is symbiotic in a sense, or is it at some point AI will replace coders? I mean, there's a lot of people out there who feel that the AI is going to take their jobs, and a lot of people think, no, it's here to help. What's your perception, Albert, I guess, in AI and where it's headed, and where I guess software engineering as a whole industry is headed with AI?
Yeah, I mean there's definitely that that concern, especially for people who've been wanting to transition in this kind of space, right? That oh no, it's probably a bit too late for us to get into software engineering now, since AI is probably going to take my job anyway. So why bother getting into it, right? So, but it's not that. In fact, in my opinion, I think it's possibly the best time for you to actually get into software engineering, because it does provide you with a really good foundation when it comes to getting into AI. Now, obviously, you can actually do AI, with all the tools that we have now available, like ChatGPT and all that. We would probably with with less or no understanding of development at all, right? It's possible. So I'm not saying that it can or you can't, but you can, except that obviously there'll be a lot of things that you won't understand if you try to delve into, AI and try to develop certain apps and whatnot without really the basic foundation of whole software development thing, right? But the good advantage if you've actually got into software engineering, or even possibly data analytics, because data analytics is actually a huge part of AI, because AI is basically mostly based around data. So AI has just been fed with all these billions or trillions of data, and that's why it's actually gotten smarter the way it is right now. So it's for me. Uh, it's not a competition, because again, we have to remember that AI is simply a tool, and it's just a matter of you actually knowing how to utilize that tool. And being a software engineer or having the software engineering background will actually allow you to better um, take advantage of all the benefits that AI could possibly offer now and even into the future. Because as we all know, that AI is currently evolving and doing much better compared to how it was originally being first introduced into the industry. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. Nils, are you encouraged or are you told to or not told to use AI with your coding at work?
Um, yeah, we're very much encouraged to use it as much as possible to speed up our workflow. Yeah, I'm very much I agree with Albert. I think it's a tool rather than something to be afraid of.
Mm,
I think like Albert was saying before, coding is a lot about problem solving, and if you can use AI effectively, then you can use it to solve your problems rather than, well, not do everything for you, because a lot of the time it doesn't have all the context. And I was kind of reflecting on this when I was studying. There was like the smallest piece of the puzzle that you had to think of and find yourself. Uh, and nowadays you can ask AI like, how is there a function for this, and how do you see that this, and you can kind of look at the context of your yeah, you can look within your work space and find the solution for you. But yeah, it it won't. come up with the final solution, but it definitely has a good base for those kind of niggly things that to get you started.
Yeah. Okay, great. Is there any attendees here who've got any questions that they're dying to ask Nils or Albert in regards to the anything? I mean, this isn't Ask Me Anything. You've got the opportunity. Obviously, keep it respectful, keep it on topic as well. Is there any questions coming through? Otherwise, happy to keep asking questions. But yeah, feel free to pop a question in the chat. Albert, can you see if there any questions in there so far? I don't think there are. I've got a question for you. Is it true, and I'm not sure this is a myth or whether, that once you pick up one coding language, others are easy to understand? Albert or Nils? Yeah.
In some ways, a lot of the time the principles are the same. There's a concept object-oriented programming, which is like a principle versus I can't remember what the other one is now. Um, yeah, but basically, like the principles are often the same. It's like the syntax is sometimes weird, uh, and as you kind of progress in your career, you're able to kind of find out the syntax more easily, I guess.
Yeah. I guess going back
Yeah.
to the course itself. Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I was just going to add more to what Neil said. So basically, learning a new language, if you already started with one, is going to be easier because it's not like human language wherein you have completely different sort of kind of rules that follow.
Mhm.
With programming languages, you sort of kind of just build basic the programming fundamentals or concepts. So they all still revolve around that same concepts over and over. It's just that the way that you write them will be a little different, but they're mostly the same. So yeah.
Okay, cool, awesome. Just going back to the course itself, Nils, I guess I mean, when you first started, were you a bit apprehensive about the course itself, and kind of when did you feel like you were kind of getting on the way to becoming a software engineer, or you felt ready that you were able to then go out and apply for jobs?
Um, yeah, I was a bit scared initially because it looked like an extremely fast pace. Like you got through the modules extremely quickly, and I was a bit like, am I gonna get it in like at the same speed that is being delivered? But I think there was a great community, and we kind of met up on Discord, and we helped each other as a cohort understand it, which was really cool. That was probably one of the highlights. And it allowed us to just have a chat and a joke and make friends as well and like be all in it together, I guess.
Great. Um,
And yeah, that then yeah, definitely had the feeling of starting to get it as we went along. It all seemed quite connected.
yeah, nice. And at what point after graduating did you land a job? Were you doing
Uh,
other things before, or obviously
uh, it was a
ReadyTech for
couple,
something?
yeah, couple of months for me.
Wow.
I know some people find one sooner. I was helping another someone else from my course with one of his projects first, so maybe not giving it my full attention immediately. But yeah, I think with the combination of your your career help, service, and mentoring and star
All
stuff,
right.
um, yeah, I think. Yeah, it made it an easier process.
Yeah, nice. What else have I got here? Any questions from anyone else? Feel free, please jump on as well. Um, would you recommend, I mean, are there any other extra skills that you think might be helpful for a software engineer to have going into a job, like, UX, UI design skills or graphic design skills like you had at all, or anything else, data analytic
Um,
skills?
yeah, I mean anything related to tech really. Because like think about if you're doing an interview, right? And you're like, and they ask you if you have Ruby skills, and they ask you, and you tell them you have UI skills, they're like, oh, we actually need UI skills. So anything you can deliver, I guess.
Yeah, nice. Albert, did you have any questions for Nils you wanted to ask, or anything to, I guess, to add at all?
Yeah, no, definitely. So, it's been quite some time since Nils and I have had a chat. So, I'm curious into knowing more about his journey. So after graduation, so it's like, how has he actually managed to keep on with his skills as a software engineer? Yeah, and be up to date.
Yeah, it's been challenging. I think you have to make time for it. And I think you just have to constantly be interested. I guess, yeah. As you spend more time with a company, there's an expectation for you to know more and do things more quickly, and do things without being handheld. So I'm trying to reach that point, to become what's considered a mid-level. And it's yeah, so yeah, sometimes it's not easy because yeah, you only figure things out once you figure things out. But you know, if you're self-motivated and self-interested, then you'll with the practice comes the success.
Yeah, nice. I guess the question I would like to know, because it's on the forefront of a lot of students' minds when they're looking into a course, is your role predominantly remote, or do you go into the office at all, or you work from home?
Uh, it's hybrid, which I'm very happy with. Like so, a combination of going into the office and sorry, working from home. Um, so, but recently they've kind of mandated a certain number of days in the office. So
Yeah.
5 days per fortnight. So there's 3 days.
Got a question from one of the attendees here for you, Nils. What type of projects did you build, and what are the principles and skills the projects should demonstrate?
Um, in Academy XI.
Let's just take that, yeah, for Academy, the projects one that you did in Academy XI, yeah.
Yeah, I did a we did a web scraper one where we had to use uh, Ruby skills to go to collect information from a website and display it in a meaningful way. Uh, and then we had to use the terminal, like the CLI, to have like prompted like questions to be able to, uh, which was very logic based. Um, so it's like, and there were also projects related to API use. I remember. So yeah, number of skills there. And we were tested on if we could successfully retrieve the data from various API or sources, and display them as expected, and that's using a good number of Ruby and JavaScript skills. And one of our first projects was making a website for ourselves, just using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we started front end and then moved to back end. I don't know what the um, structure is now.
The same, yeah, front end and then moved to back end.
So yeah, yeah, very gradual increase of complexity uh, from the start to the finish, and then for our final capstone project, we're expected to marry the different skills together.
Oh, nice. Look, we've got bang on the 1 o'clock here. Is there any more questions that anyone would like to ask? Um, if you've got obviously any questions for me, I'm happy to help. And my details are on the screen now. Hope everybody has kind of found this insightful. I certainly have. Excuse my noise in the background. I've got some construction noise there. But yeah, look, great having you on, Nils. Thank you so much for taking the time and your sickness to answer some questions.
Yes.
I guess give me a bit of
Coughing
an
wasn't
insight.
too annoying.
Yeah. Has anyone else got a little bit more time? Want to ask another question? No? Albert, any questions?
No, that's all good for me.
Right. Well, look, thanks for joining everyone. I'll just sit here for a couple more seconds just to see if anything pops up. But again, if you've got anything,
to hang by for a bit longer, just in case.
yeah. Yeah, happy if you go as well. Otherwise, if there's no more questions, we'll finish the webinar. And look, hope to see you come to Academy XI. Be great to have you on board.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good to see you, Albert. See ya.
Thanks again, Niels, for joining in and
Yeah.
for attending
Thanks, Nils.
as our for today.
Yeah,
Really
thanks for
appreciate
having
that.
me. Thanks. Talk to you soon on LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, if you have any question about my career or anything. Right. See ya.
If no one's got any more questions, we'll end that there. Thanks again for joining. Thank you again, Albert, for taking time to go through a bit of what you do as well. Have a lovely rest of the day, everybody. Stay safe, stay warm as it's a bit cold, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.